Islam is the second largest religion in the world after Christianity. However, how did Islam develop in northern European countries like Norway? Behind the image of a country whose majority population is Protestant Christian and is known for its secular society, Islam has its own development story in Norway. In this script, we will trace the history of the arrival of Islam in Norway, the dynamics of the Muslim community, and the challenges and contributions of Muslims in this Scandinavian land. Islam does not have long historical roots in Norway, like in southern Europe, for example, Spain or the Balkans. The arrival of Islam in Norway is a modern phenomenon, which only began significantly in the second half of the 20th century. Before that, relations between Norway and the Islamic world were only sporadic through trade, sailors, or oriental studies. Massive immigration of Muslims to Norway began in the 1960s and 1970s. Norway was experiencing rapid economic growth and needed additional workers, especially in the industrial and service sectors. The government opened its doors to migrant workers, especially from countries such as Pakistan, Turkey, and Morocco. Pakistan became the largest country of origin for the first Muslim community in Norway. Many of them came as guest workers, and most settled permanently, forming families and communities. In the 1970s and 1980s, the Muslim community began to grow rapidly. They established religious and social organizations to serve spiritual, educational, and cultural needs. One of the first and oldest Islamic organizations in Norway is the Islamsk Råd Nord, Islamic Council of Norway, which was founded in 1993 as a federation of mosques and Muslim organizations. The establishment of a mosque is an important milestone in the lives of Muslims. The first mosque in Norway was established in Oslo in 1974, the Islamic Cultural Center Norway, ICC, by the Pakistani community. Over time, the number of mosques has increased, especially in large cities such as Bergen, Trondheim, Stavanger, and Drammen. The presence of Islamic educational institutions, weekend schools, as well as Arabic language courses and teaching the Quran have also grown organically as part of efforts to maintain religious and cultural identity in a predominantly secular society. The issue of integration is an important part of the discussion about Islam in Norway. Muslims are faced with the challenge of balancing their religious identity with the norms and values of a secular, egalitarian, and gender equality Norwegian society. Issues such as the wearing of the hijab, the construction of mosques, Islamic family law, and religious education in public schools are often the subject of public debate. The Norwegian government also implements a policy of limited multiculturalism, in which cultural and religious diversity is recognized, but remains within the framework of Norwegian values. At the same time, many second and third generation Norwegian Muslims show relatively good integration. They receive higher education, are active in political and social life, and have begun to occupy various important positions, including in the media, academia, and even parliament. Although Norway is known as a peaceful country, Muslims are not free from the challenges of discrimination and Islamophobia. One of the biggest tragedies that rocked Norway was the terrorist attack by Anders Behring Breivik in 2011, which was fueled by hatred of immigrants and Islam. In addition, several incidents of violence and hate speech against Muslims reflect the social tensions that sometimes surface, especially after global events such as terrorist attacks in Europe. However, Norwegian civil society, including interfaith figures, have voiced solidarity and tolerance. The Norwegian government also actively monitors the threat of extremism, both from radical Islamic groups and extremist right-wing groups. De-radicalization programs and interfaith dialogue are part of efforts to maintain social harmony. Although they only make up around 4 to 5% of the total population of Norway, the Muslim community makes real contributions in various fields of life. Many of them are active as entrepreneurs, doctors, teachers, engineers, and politicians. Figures such as Abid Raja, a member of parliament and former minister of culture, are symbols of the success of Muslim integration in Norway. In addition to economic and political contributions, the Muslim community is also active in social and humanitarian activities. Muslim organizations are often involved in blood donation drives, refugee aid, and interfaith dialogue. Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha celebrations are often open to the public, introducing Islamic culture to Norwegian society in a more positive way. The future of Islam in Norway depends on how the Muslim community and the general public are able to establish inclusive and respectful relationships. Major challenges remain, such as issues of identity, discrimination, and radicalization. However, opportunities are also wide open through dialogue, education, and the active participation of Muslims in national and state life. The role of the younger generation of Norwegian Muslims is very important in determining the direction of Islam's development in the future. With dual identities, as Muslims and as Norwegians, they become a bridge between two worlds and can build a more harmonious society. The history of Islam in Norway is a story of migration, identity struggles, integration challenges, and real contributions. Although Islam is a minority religion, its presence has enriched Norway's social and cultural diversity. This journey is still ongoing, written by generations of people who strive to live in peace, side by side in differences, and together build a more inclusive future. As a country whose Muslim society is still relatively new, the presence of Muslim figures in the Norwegian public space is very important as a positive and inspiring representation. One of the most well-known figures is Abid Q. Raja, a politician from the Liberal Party, Venstre, who was born to a Pakistani immigrant family. He served as Norway's Minister of Culture and Gender Equality 2020-2021, making him one of the first Muslims to hold a high-ranking position in the Norwegian government. Abid is known for his progressive views on minority rights, religious freedom, and intercultural dialogue. Another figure is Bushra Ishaq, a Pakistani-born Norwegian Muslim academic and author. She is known for her active involvement in interfaith dialogue and for writing a book titled Fem Snakker for Oss, Who Speaks for Us, which discusses stereotypes about Muslims in the media and society. Figures like them not only strengthen the position of the Muslim community in the political and intellectual spheres, but also push the narrative that being Muslim and being Norwegian are not contradictory identities. The second and third generations of Muslims in Norway grow up in a different reality than their parents. They were born and raised in Norway, speak Norwegian, and attend the national education system. However, at home, they often live their lives based on Islamic values and ancestral traditions. Identity conflicts are a major theme in their lives. Many feel too Norwegian to be fully Muslim, and too Muslim to be fully Norwegian. Some teenagers experience double pressure, from conservative families and from a society full of stereotypes about Islam. However, many have also managed to turn this experience into strength. They have created a unique Norwegian